Am I being detained?
No, you're not being detained, no.
See you later then.
But you're not, you can't go through there.
You're harassing me.
I'm not harassing
I'm trying to walk away.
to
Okay, I'm going to go this way instead then.
No, if you...
No, I'm going to go to the bus stop. Okay? Leave me alone.
Welcome to the channel, where we break down police encounters to explain your rights and their responsibilities. In this episode from Audit Ed, he's filming calmly outside a university when officers respond with suspicion instead of clarity, treating him like a problem from the start. Rather than escalating, Ed stays composed and methodically pushes them to explain their actions, forcing them to justify their claims and exposing how little basis they have for the interaction.
Are you guys here for me?
Yeah, hi.
Oh, why? Can you maintain your distance there?
Can. Of course, yeah.
And also identify yourselves. Did you just switch your camera on?
Yeah.
Alright, please don't delete that. I'll be requesting a copy, alright? Also yours, please don't delete that. I'll be requesting a copy.
Of course.
Alright, can you identify yourselves, please,
Can I
officers?
ask you first, sorry, what was your first name, my friend?
I'm not at liberty to give you that. When you approach a member of the public, you identify yourself. That's your policy, so identify yourself.
Okay. So my name is Simon Tops, Police Constable 693, Simon Tops, Avon, Somerset Police.
And yours is?
My colleague.
5512, Josh Burnell.
Alright, and what crime have I committed, or do you suspect me of committing?
Okay, what are you being so hostile?
I'm not being hostile, I'm just asking you, because when the police approach me,
Yeah.
police come to deal with crimes, do they not?
Not necessarily, no.
What do they come to deal with? Civil matters?
Well, we're here to prevent crime.
So what crime do you suspect me of about to commit?
Not suggesting you're committing a crime at all.
Alright then.
What was your first name, so I can talk to you on first name basis?
No, it's fine, I'm not going to give you that.
Okay. Are you filming at the moment?
I am indeed, for my own
Okay, what's the
protection.
purpose of you filming?
My own purpose.
Right.
They approach without introducing themselves or giving any context, forcing Ed to prompt them just to identify who they are. Instead of explaining what offense they suspect, they quickly label him as hostile simply for asking questions. But requesting grounds isn't aggression, it's holding officers to the standard they're required to meet. If there were a real suspicion of a crime, they should be able to clearly state it right away.
Can I ask why you're here at the
Can I ask you a
filming?
question? Am I being detained?
No, you're not being detained, no.
See you later then.
But you can't go through there.
I just asked the gentleman if I could go through and he said yeah.
Chris?
Did you not just tell me the way to the bus station?
You did ask me where the bus is, alright?
And left at the machine and all the way down?
I did say that.
Yeah.
Okay, can
Okay.
I just...
No, you can't actually.
Okay, well, whilst you're walking, I'll just make it quite
Are you
clear
following
to
me?
I'm not following
You're
you.
harassing me.
I'm not harassing
I'm trying
you,
to
I'm
walk
talking
away.
to
Okay,
you.
I'm going to go this way instead then.
No, if you...
So if you no, I'm going to go to the bus stop.
Okay.
Okay. Leave me alone. All right.
Okay, that's fine. If you make your way to the bus stop, that'd be great.
I'm not going. You're not going to follow me.
What?
Which way are you going?
Sorry?
Which way are you going?
Look, if you don't want me to follow...
I'm just asking you which way you're going.
I'm not here to call...
I'm just asking you which way you're going.
It doesn't matter which way I go, and go whichever way I like. I'm not being...
All right, I'll wait for you to go then.
I'm not being dictated to by you.
Do you know your
where
oath?
I go. All right?
Do you know your oath?
Yeah, I do.
Can you say it to me?
No,
I'll start you
I'm
off.
not going to say it to you.
I'll start you off.
I'm not here to justify my actions.
No,
to
you're
you.
here to uphold the law.
I am
Have I
upholding
broken
the
it?
Not at the moment, you haven't.
So leave me alone.
They tell him he's not detained, so he does what he's entitled to do and starts to leave, but their tone shifts as they question where he's going and follow him anyway. It can't work both ways. Either he's free to go or he isn't. The situation turns into ego when Ed asks the officer to repeat his oath as a reminder of his duty, and the officer refuses, claiming he doesn't have to justify himself, revealing the core issue. Because policing requires accountability, not optional explanations.
This isn't consensual.
That's fine.
Policing by consent. Leave me alone.
Okay, off you go then.
No, I will
Have a
go.
nice day.
I will go when I'm ready.
Okay, that's
Okay.
fine.
Cool.
Have a nice day.
I will. I'm actually having a lovely day.
Okay. If you could make your way to the bus station, though,
Why?
that would be great.
Why?
Okay, that's fine. I'm not here.
So why do you keep telling me what to do?
I'm not telling you what to
You
do.
are. You just said make your way to the bus station.
You
Like
said
what
you were
right?
making your way-
Can I just ask you, what right do you have to tell me what to do when I haven't broken the law?
Okay?
You haven't got a right to tell me what to do when I haven't broken the law. So stop trying to bully me.
I'm not trying to...
Yes,
bully
you are. You're trying to tell me what to
I'm
do.
trying to find out why you're walking around a university
Because
with
I'm
a
a,
camera.
I'll tell you why. Because I'm allowed to.
Okay?
Photography is
But
not a
some
crime.
of this university is private premises.
No, it's not,
It
bro.
is,
Do you know?
okay,
Are you
that's why you're wrong.
are you familiar with Section 33 of the Criminal Justice Act 1972?
No, I'm not. No,
you're
not
not. But you
particularly.
should be.
Okay.
Because it's the law.
Okay.
Which says at the material time of operating, the public are allowed access, whether upon payment or not.
To where?
anywhere that is open. This is a public space. These lines were painted by the council.
The interaction shifts into quiet pressure, with officers giving instructions as if authority alone makes them lawful and claiming it's private property without backing it up. Ed stays calm and focused, asking about Section 33 of the Criminal Justice Act 1972 to highlight public access rights, and the officer admits he isn't familiar with it. That moment is key. It shows the boundary is being enforced on assumption, not knowledge. Ed then reinforces his point by referencing visible council road markings, clear indicators of a public highway.
I think you're mistaken.
No,
This part of
I'm
this
not.
university is private property.
Can I just ask you
There
another
is
something?
public access
If I was to
part
say
of
to
the
you,
university.
if I was to say to you, I'm not going anywhere, what could you do?
Sorry?
If I was to say to you, I'm not going to leave now, what could you do?
Well, I don't intend to do anything
You
at the moment.
couldn't do anything because I haven't broken the law. When those guys rang you and reported a crime, what you should have said to them, he's not breaking
They
the
have
law.
reported a crime.
What did they
They
do?
reported a suspicious person filming at a
suspicion-
university campus.
Is photography a crime? You're recording. You're
Well, I
recording.
don't know.
You guys, let
How
me
do
just
I
say,
know
you,
that you're not filming for terrorist
do you know,
purposes?
you see that on your uniform?
Yep.
That thin blue line thing?
How
That
do
is
I-
an utter disgrace.
How do I know?
You disgrace the country with that.
How do I know that you're not filming for terrorist purposes?
Sir, we
for
go.
example?
Sir, we go on what we do know, what we do, not what we don't.
Well, not necessarily.
No,
That's again
so-
where you're wrong. Isn't
Okay,
It?
so what reasonable suspicion do you have that I'm a terrorist,
Well,
sir?
you're filming a university campus.
So you're
with a
trying to get me
camera.
on Section 43.
No, I'm not.
So why'd you mention it then?
Well, because I'm just explaining that you seem to think that I can only act when a crime's been reported. but
No.
you
You're
do.
more than willing to come up to me and ask me.
Yeah.
If you can articulate reasonable suspicion that I may be a terrorist,
Well, you're walking around a university campus with a camera. And
This is a uni.
And you won't explain why.
but I don't have to.
Being reported as suspicious doesn't turn lawful filming into a crime, it just reflects someone's discomfort. When Ed asks if recording is actually illegal, they avoid answering and instead jump to speculation about terrorism, which isn't grounded in any real evidence. Ed cuts through it clearly. Policing is based on facts, not imagination. If the only behavior is filming in a public place, then there's no real suspicion of a crime, just unease about being recorded.
Well, then it gives me suspicion of what your activity is.
So you think I'm a terrorist? You have reasonable suspicion that I am up to terrorist activities.
I don't know why you're...
I'm not engaged in any
why are you
hostile
filming?
reconnaissance because I can, as my rights allow me to. Is this not a free country?
Yeah, but...
So, and am I not allowed to own a camera?
You are allowed to
You're
own a camera.
filming. What's the difference between
You're
you
allowed
and
to own a
I?
camera and you're allowed to film.
What's
And
the
I'm not-
difference between you
and
and...
I'm not preventing you
why-
from doing that.
But why
I'm
are you
not
accusing me of
answering
being a
the camera.
terrorist then?
I'm not accusing you of being
Well, why
a
are you saying I'm
terrorist.
suspicious?
I'm just saying there are some concerns about your
What concerns?
nature of why you're filming
What
in an empty
concerns?
university.
What concerns?
But then it gives me suspicion for why you're here with a camera.
Suspicion is not a crime.
No, but it gives me grounds to do certain things if I feel it necessary.
Are you threatening me?
I'm not threatening you.
So what do you mean
explaining
then?
what the law is.
Well, you don't know the law because that's not
Well,
right.
I think I do.
Well, tell me what reasonable suspicion you have.
Well, why are you filming a university when it's
I'm not telling
closed
you.
with a camera?
I'm not telling you.
Okay, well then I'm suspicious.
That's fine. You can be suspicious.
I can, yeah.
Yeah, you can.
But then I can also act on that suspicion
No, you
if I
can't.
feel it appropriate.
You can. Yeah, you can, and I'll sue you.
Okay, well, but that's my decision.
Yeah, I know. When you'll lose your job.
Well, I'm not doing that, am I?
No, because you're scared
But
to.
you're not helping our cause.
I don't
here,
have
are
to
you?
help you.
Ed keeps making the same point because it's being ignored. Filming in a public area isn't illegal just because someone dislikes it. He exposes the contradiction of officers recording him while treating his camera as suspicious, proving the issue isn't filming, but who's behind it. And when they lean on suspicion, he makes it clear that it must be reasonable, specific, and linked to an actual offense, not just a feeling.
I don't have to help you, do I?
You don't have to.
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, okay. I think we understand where we are.
I know where I understand where I am. I know the
understand
law.
where
You
I am.
don't. You those gentlemen over there, the guys who called the police, whoever called the police. I suggest you go and speak to them about Section 5 of the Criminal Law Act 1967, making a false report, because that's wasting police time, which is actually a criminal offence.
Okay. It's been nice talking to you. If you're heading towards the bus stop, then
I'll go wherever I like.
Have a lovely day.
I'll go wherever
Well, you
I like.
won't go wherever you like.
I will indeed.
Because parts of this.
I'll go anywhere that
university-
is publicly accessible. I will go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and no one will stop me.
Yeah.
Not those guys up there. Not you guys
But what you
either.
need to understand at the moment.
I don't need to understand
just so
anything.
that
I
we're
know the
clear,
law.
Is so do I.
Yeah, no, you don't.
So do I. Okay.
You don't. You don't even
This
know
is a-
what Criminal
this-
Justice Act, Section 33 of the Criminal Justice Act
This is-
1972 is.
this-
Do you know it?
This is a
You need to
private.
know the ins and outs.
Of course you know. Of course, if you're gonna uphold the law, you have to know the ins and outs of the law. How can you tell me that you don't have to know the ins and outs
Okay.
of the law, but then you're here to uphold it? How does
Okay.
that make sense?
Ed doesn't just defend himself, he shifts the focus, pointing out that if anyone may have crossed a line, it's the person who made the exaggerated report. He references Section 5 of the Criminal Law Act 1967, which covers wasting police time with false information, yet officers ignore that completely. That says a lot. They scrutinize him but not the source of the complaint. When they claim he can't go wherever he likes, they fail to define any lawful boundary, even though he's clearly in a publicly accessible space. And when one officer shrugs and says you don't need to know the ins and outs of the law, is a revealing moment, authority being exercised without understanding the limits that are supposed to govern it.
You're even a Somerset Constabulary, innit?
Okay.
Absolute joke.
It's been a pleasure talking to you.
I haven't enjoyed myself, actually. You've ruined my day. So go away now, please.
Parts of the university are private premises. There are public access routes.
I won't go anywhere that is private. I haven't been anywhere that's private, and I will not go anywhere that's private. As you could probably understand from the way I speak, I know exactly what I'm doing, sir. I know the laws that surround what I'm doing. I don't appreciate you accusing me of being a terrorist.
Well,
what's your number
I've
again?
not accused you of being a terrorist. I've explained.
693. You threatened
No, I
me. You
haven't.
said, "Oh, now I've got reason."
I've not threatened you
listen,
at all.
The camera doesn't lie.
I've not threatened you
The
at all.
camera doesn't
You
lie.
can play your camera back.
I will.
Alright?
I'll be
I've not
playing
threatened
to your
you at all.
superior.
I'm just explaining that if you're filming an empty university that's actually closed at the moment to the university is actually closed. All right, to the students. It's
I'm not a
closed-
student.
It's closed to staff.
I'm not staff.
So why are you here?
I'm a member of the public, and I'm in a publicly accessible area.
Right.
That's why I'm
Okay.
here.
Well, that's fine. If you want to film
I know it's fine.
in open public spaces.
Yeah, and I'm allowed.
That's fine. But
Yeah.
you won't be filming inside buildings.
I don't want to film inside a building.
And if you trespass in private property.
It's a civil matter. Are you telling me that you're gonna do something for a civil matter?
I will do. 'Cause
Okay. Oh, so okay.
When he pivots to the idea that Ed might trespass or record inside buildings, he's grasping for a scenario that hasn't occurred to justify pressure in the moment. Trespass, at its core, is a civil matter between a landowner and the person on the land. It doesn't automatically become a police issue unless specific aggravating factors apply. You can't preemptively threaten enforcement over a hypothetical civil dispute. Ed isn't inside any building, isn't bypassing security, and isn't ignoring a lawful direction tied to a clearly defined power.
Another
security
complaint.
asks you to leave a private
They
premises and you
but I
refuse.
haven't been on private property.
And you refuse.
But I haven't
to.
been on private property.
Then I'll have
Sir,
to consider
listen.
my powers under the breach of the peace.
Oh, so now you're threatening me for a crime that listen. What part of my behaviour is threatening or abusive?
Well, nothing at the moment.
Okay, so don't threaten me with something that
I'm not
hasn't
threatening
happened
you.
or that isn't going to
I
happen.
also
You
know
are.
the
That's
law.
no. Listen, you're
Okay.
just threatening me with breach of the peace when a breach of the peace isn't going to happen
Well,
because
one
I'm
of
not
my
acting in.
fundamental roles is to prevent a breach of the peace.
Yeah, but there's going to be no breach of the peace because I'm not acting in a
That's
threatening
fine.
or abusive
So
behaviour.
All I'm saying is don't go into private premises,
listen.
don't film in the
How many
buildings.
times do you want to say that?
Okay, otherwise.
How many times do you want to say that, considering the fact that I said?
And then I'll have to support them to prevent a breach of the peace. Is all I'm saying.
That's fine. You
And
could
that's
do.
me knowing my law.
That's fine. You could do that, but
Yeah,
I promise you that if the course of action that you've just stated happens, I'll sue you.
Well, that's fine. You're entitled to sue
And I'm
me.
going to make a complaint. 3 complaints in this 8 minutes 46 seconds, and 3 complaints about you. You're smart for keeping your mouth shut.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
You can complain.
See you later then, guys. Go.
Okay.
Be good.
Out of nowhere, he throws out breach of the peace as if the phrase alone carries authority. That power isn't a catch-all. It exists for situations where violence is imminent or someone is genuinely at risk. Ed asks the critical question, what have I done that's threatening or abusive? The officer admits, none at the moment. That answer settles it. You can't warn someone about a breach of the peace while conceding there's no threatening behavior. Without aggression, threat, crowding, or rising volatility, invoking breach of the peace isn't preventative policing, it's empty rhetoric.
You need to be rude.
I'm not being rude.
Okay.
Plus, is rudeness a crime? Is it a free country? If I would like to be rude, I'm well within my rights to be rude.
Okay.
Okay? So go away, please, and leave me alone. You're harassing me.
Okay, that's fine. Thank
All
you very
right?
much.
Go away now. Told me I can't record in there, so now I'm going to have to walk round. You inform these guys that photography is not a crime as well, yeah? You educate these guys on the law. No. You're here. You're a public servant. You're here to uphold the law.
Yeah.
These guys have broken the law by filing a false report.
They haven't,
Okay?
no.
Yes, they have.
Okay.
Yes, they have. They reported a crime when there wasn't a crime being committed. They made a false report. It is a breach of Section 5 of the Criminal Law Act 1967, and you are failing in your job right now,
Okay.
officer,
Well,
constable.
Thanks very much. It's been very nice talking to you. If you can maintain yourself on the public places.
I'll go wherever
okay,
I like. Thank you.
You know what my position is.
I'll
in
go
relation
wherever.
to
Yeah, you made threats. You made a threat of
I've not made a
arrest.
threat.
You did. You made an illegal threat of arrest. Bullies, guys.
What stands out at the end isn't confrontation, it's avoidance. After all the suspicion, questioning, veiled threats, and floated powers, the officers pivot away from Ed toward security, yet never challenge the basis of the original report. The person who triggered the response isn't scrutinized on camera. No clarification, correction, or acknowledgement of exaggeration. That silence matters. Early on, the officers control the tempo. They approach, question, and frame him as a potential problem. By the end, that control thins. Ed hasn't been detained, searched, or formally warned. No offense has been articulated, no lawful boundary drawn. What remains is frustration, not from disorder or danger, but from an interaction that never justified itself. When he walks away, it isn't retreat, it's choosing to disengage from circular logic.